what's up, y'all? My name is Philip Placencia. Welcome to Bags and Bottles Podcast. This is my wife and co-host, Soleil Placencia. Today we got Paul Landrove with us as our guest. Super excited about getting into this episode, man. Paul's got a lot of great stories and a really good experience. Good dude, doing a lot of good for the community of Lubbock, and we'll jump into his story here in a little bit. But what we want to do is, with Bags and Bottles, man, we just want to promote sober living as normal living. There's a stigma that in our communities that you got to get messed up or you got to drink, every barbecue, every cookout, every Super Bowl, every football game. That's not necessarily, what we got to do. And so every episode is going to be different. Every guest has a different story. And so we want to share those things in light, bring it to light, and be able to share those with you guys to help anybody and everybody out that may be still struggling with alcohol addiction, people that are affected by it indirectly as well, as far as like wives or children that are that may have somebody that's an alcoholic or an addict in their family. And so I'm gonna pass over the mic to my wife and let her take it over from here.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
All right. While she's trying to figure out what she's gonna do, I'm gonna introduce Paul. Paul Landrove is a tattoo artist. What's the name of your place?
My tattoo shop is called Pura Envidia, man, and we're located on 19th Street, 1405 19th Street. I've been tattooing for 22 years. I've been sober for 7 years.
7 years, that's awesome, man.
From alcohol,
from
drugs. I wasn't really a big drug addict, but I smoke weed, so I guess that's a drug. But yeah, man, it feels good to be sober, man.
That's great, bro.
How long have you been in Lubbock?
I've been in Lubbock for 14 years.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from California.
What brought you to Texas, bro?
Actually, man, I got married, man. I got married and then I got divorced, and she ended up going back to New Mexico.
Yeah.
I stayed here because there's just a lot more opportunity out here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we got a lot of similarities, man, with our stories. I moved out here 22 years ago. My ex-wife's from here.
Okay.
Moved out here from California. Just the way I was living, I needed to change. I needed to make some major changes, and so it was easy for me to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna bounce. We're gonna start a new life in Texas." I didn't know anybody out here, nobody, not a soul. So I moved out here, man, and it was the best thing I ever did because I can't imagine raising my kids, back from where I'm from, and just a better opportunity. The quality of life out here is better. The scenery may not be as nice, and the comida may not be as good, but I tell you what, there's some good people out here, man, and there's some good opportunities. There's some good resources. You're an entrepreneur, and I'm sure you can attest to this. If you got your mind set on something, you go do it. Because how many shops have you had now?
This is my third one. My original tattoo shop here in Lubbock was called Malicious Inc.
Yeah.
And I opened up that one in 2016. It went good for about 3 years. And fortunately, I got into a little bit of trouble.
I remember you came down here and you were like, I'm a tattoo shop.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to start at the flea market. Remember, I was like, I want to sell my shirts. Just kind of like
trying to figure stuff out.
Kind of like just hustle in the streets a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I've always been a hustler my whole life. You know what I mean? Since I was a teenager, man. You know what I mean? Of course, like everybody else, come from nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And try to make something for myself. And my parents were real bad drug addicts. You know what I mean?
Really?
I lost my dad like in 1995, heroin.
Wow.
And I was 12. She died when I was in the penitentiary out here in Texas. She died from a brain aneurysm. But she was staying up too many days.
Was she on drugs?
She was on crystal meth too. My whole family, man, has been in the penitentiary their whole life. I got uncles in California that's done 30 years, 125 years. But there's a lot of talent in my family, man. There's a lot of talent, you know what I'm saying? So
so you drew from that side.
Yeah, man. I drew from really both, My dad's from San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
So I got ties to Texas.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it's just, it's life's what you make of it, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got tired of like you said earlier, seeing my kids seeing me drunk, fighting with the wife or girlfriend or whatever at the time, and
yeah,
it just to me, man, I felt like I had a conviction. You know what I mean? Like if you feel ashamed of something that you're doing, I feel like that it ain't right, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't right, and I feel like a lot of people they don't have that conviction right here to make a change.
Well, I think a lot of people, and I can't speak for people, but we all have a choice, man.
Bro.
Every day we have a choice, and we can decide to be a victim of our society, of our environment, and continue the cycle of whatever, alcohol, drugs, prison life, gang life. We all have the option to do that. Or we could be like, I'm going the other route. Like, I've seen what it does, and I'm going to choose to go the other route. And so sometimes it might take us a little bit to figure that out. You know, we might have some setbacks. But once we get it figured out and realize this is not the life that I want to live, then I think that's probably one of the most responsible things we could do as a person is like, okay, I'm going to make a change. However that looks right now, I don't know what that looks like. I'm willing to figure it out because you can go through some hard times, you can go through some shit, man. But as long as you're trying to figure it out,
just take a little bit of accountability. You know what I mean? And it's so selfish, man. Because we, as men, you know, especially Mexicans, Mexican Americans, you know what I mean? But we live off of machismo, man.
Machismo, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
We've talked about that.
We talk about that all the time.
And it's
we
like,
just don't ever know how to say it. We're like, how do we, without singling ourselves out?
Well, I mean, it's what it is.
It's what we are, man. You know, and then, oh, I'm bad, or, you know, I'm staying up for days drinking, and you know what I mean? And it's crazy because, like, I don't mind guys drink at my shop. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen a couple of my artists fall, you know, due to they can't just have a drink, or you know what I'm saying? And you know, it's sad because you see talent just get thrown out the window, man. And I look back and I've been in places I could go to a bar and sit down with somebody, and it doesn't even faze me no more.
That's
you know
good,
what I mean?
man.
Like I'm just so strong when it comes to, like, I don't want to be that person no more. I got a granddaughter now.
Wow.
You know what I mean? She's 18 months, man. She's 18 months.
Like, I got a long way to be
around.
around.
Oh man, I got, you know, I want to live a long life and be able to, you know, because my dad's dad died at, you know, about 76, you know. And my grandma was 86, so I want to be able to be there for my granddaughter because, you know, my kids, unfortunately, I was in prison their whole lives. You know what I mean? And I feel like I owe that to my granddaughter.
Yeah, that's
you know
good.
what I mean? So,
Well, not just that, your kids too.
Myself.
Like,
You know what I mean? Just being selfish as a youngster, and you know, in my 20s, just being dumb. Man, I think the 90s, growing up in the 90s was crazy, man.
It was the best time though.
It was crazy, man. I'm 43, so it's like, man, you know, the 90s were just nuts, man. It was cool to go to jail. You know what I mean?
If we were raised in the 90s, I feel like, say, like late 80s, early 90s, no, all 90s, we're going to be the ones to change.
I don't know, man. This generation now. I thought we were crazy. That's right.
We were crazy. This new generation is just dumb.
No offense.
Goodness.
But I know there's times where we look at it, we're like, what
And I get a lot of young guys that want to work for me, you know what I'm saying? And I got a 19-year-old kid at my shop right now. He's a good kid. You know, I just tell him, hey, bro, like, quit staring at me, man. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I get a weird vibe off you. I understand, man, that, you know what I mean? That you want to learn, but, like, sit down, bro, and watch me, you know what I mean? Talk a little bit. I'm just like a robot. You know what I mean? It's like, to me, man, it's weird, man. I'm really big on, like, energies and like, you know, vibes. It's real hard. So, it's real hard.
I don't feel it. Gotta go.
The business, you guys know, you guys deal with people all the time, you know, being in a business and
You can
stuff.
tell.
You know, different walks of life come in, and, you know, sometimes I feel like a counselor instead of a tattoo artist. Because I'm talking to everybody, you know, everybody that comes in, and, you know, it's all about, you know, communicating.
That's good though, man. We never set out to be like, oh, hey, look at me, I'm almighty. But you know, if you can help people from experience and kind of be a mentor to people, I think that's a great thing, man. Because I'll tell you what, I didn't have a mentor in my life until I was probably about 40 years old. I'm 46 now. I didn't really have somebody to take me under their wing and just And a lot of
Well,
stuff.
you've been by yourself.
I've been by
here.
myself a lot, and so I had to read things. I had to, read books and go through different things and figure stuff out. But like as far as like another man that I looked up to, like give me advice, besides my dad. My dad's always been great, but there was never that mentor. It was more dad, protector, and so you being able to pass that on to younger guys, man, I think that's a great thing, because I think eventually when those guys get older, it's going to click and be like, man, I remember Flacco saying this, saying that, and it's helped me to this day, So keep planting those seeds, bro.
For sure, man.
Yeah,
I agree with you when what you're talking about, because when I was young, I didn't have an older brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't have my passed away while I was young.
Yeah.
So I chose the streets, man, and the older homies from my neighborhood, and just drinking beer, as a teenager, and it's negative influence, but at the same time, it made me who I am now. You know what I mean? And it's all about respect. And that's one thing that I preach at my shop all day, especially with my workers. Don't disrespect women, man. You know what I mean? Like they come in, bro. Do not sexual harassment. I don't play with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They come in, do your job, let them go. You know what I mean?
That's good, man. That's
for sure, man.
I think that's another kind of stigma that we need to break within our community. Guys are always, talking down on women as far as these bitches this. These bitches that. That's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's daughter you're talking about. That's somebody's sister you're talking about. How would you like that?
Yeah, man. But it's different if they click or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're talking to somebody, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's respectable. But at the same time, it's just I always try to tell them to just have some respect, man.
Right.
Excuse me, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir. You know what I mean?
But that's so important now
Yeah.
for this generation to know those simple manners.
Yeah, and I feel like it's disappearing a little bit. It is.
Well, man, tell us how did alcohol affect your life in a negative way?
Let me begin with this, man. Okay. My whole life, has just been partying since I was young. My older cousins drinking beer, Budweiser. Back then the King Cobra. Yeah, just beer runs. That was the cool thing. And as I got older, of course, I went to prison at 17. They gave me 6 years, and I did time in New Mexico. Kind of rough over there.
At 17.
At 17, they tried me as an adult. And they gave me 6 years. I had committed aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That was my first charge. They gave me 6 years. Sent me to Santa Fe prison. I don't know if you ever heard of that place. They got a book on it. It's called Hell's Kitchen or Hell's House or something like that.
Okay.
One of the biggest riots in 1980 was there. But those guys don't mess around over there. You know what I mean? When you come in, check your paperwork, make sure you're not a snitch, make sure you're not a sex offender. Yeah. The politics are way different. You know what I mean? So growing up in that environment, I was just, drawn to heroin and, making hooch. It's always a party. And getting out, that's all I wanted to do. Was drink and do drugs and rob people and do bad stuff. Unfortunately, I lasted 6 months when I got out in 2003, and then they gave me another 6 years. 6 months later, and then I did the whole 6, got out in 09, and I did good, man. For 10 years, I was free. I did good. I got my CDL.
Nice.
I was driving 18-wheelers. I moved to Texas and got 3 DWIs. And that's when my whole world just changed, So I feel like alcohol's always been a negative factor in my life because I changed, man. You know what I mean? I get real violent. I get real mean.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with my childhood, seeing my dad as a drunk. You know what I mean?
That stuff comes up.
Him beating my mom, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trauma that I feel like I have still inside of me.
Yeah.
But the machismo part of being a Mexican or just the way we are, bro.
Yeah.
Is we don't show it. Oh, I'm not gonna take no medication. I'm not gonna do no counseling. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I hear that all the time, man, from my family, you know, like talk to us or, you know, and I've always been a loner, you know what I mean? Like I got family everywhere. All my family does.
Yeah.
Never done them wrong, never, you know what I'm saying? And, but I've always been by myself, man. You know what I mean? I've always been just
That's
like,
me. You just
yeah.
deal with everything by yourself.
by myself, man, you know, or with the girlfriend that I'm with at the time, you know, they'll help me out or whatever, but I've never leased or hey, you know what I mean? They always see me doing good.
Can I ask you why you never leaned in on your family?
I just feel like I felt like maybe that as a kid, when my mom and my dad separated, I felt like I kind of lost. You know what I'm saying? Like a lost soul. And, you know, seeing my mom with another man, which I love my stepdad, you know, he's a good dude. He was with her for 14 years. I got my brother and my sister, you know, from him
From that
and my mom.
relationship.
Yeah. But it's just, you know, it's not the same when it ain't your blood, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He never hit me. He always fed me. He was a good stepdad, but it's just, you don't get that same affection.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was just like, man, I'm going to the streets. Like, I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to get like, I didn't care.
Yeah.
And now, when I look back, I regret it because I was really hurting my mom. You know what I mean? She wanted me around, but every time I was locked up, because I was like, you know what, I get out and boom, I stay out a week and I get locked up again. You know what I mean? So it was just, and then drinking and stuff like that too. So it was. So ever since then, you know, I've just chose to be by myself. You know what I mean? Even living here in Lubbock, that's my only like immediate family here in Lubbock. But I got a lot of friends.
The reason why I asked you why is because, you know, for me, I feel like I'm listening to you talk.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm listening to myself. It's remind me a lot of myself because I've always been alone. You know, I've had people I rode with or whatever, but when it came to taking on life decisions and figuring things out, I've done a lot on myself. The reason why I didn't tap into like family or loved ones was one, I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I was smart as shit, but I really wasn't.
You don't know nothing.
Don't know nothing. But two is a pride factor. I don't want to look weak. Yeah, I don't want to look weak in front of nobody. I don't want to be vulnerable with nobody because again, this is my experience. This is how I'm feeling. If I show vulnerability, I'm showing weakness. If I'm showing weakness, then I feel like that's just gonna take away everybody's thoughts of who I am and who I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? Which now saying that and hearing that, fucking back. That's not how it should be, man. Like that's what family and loved ones are for. It's for us to lean in on and not be a burden. But say, hey man, I'm going through some shit. I need some help. You know, I'm gonna be vulnerable with you. Can you help me out? Yeah, man. What do you got? That's how it should be, bro. And that's the reason why I was asking because as men, again, as Mexican American men,
yes,
we feel like we need to have it all figured out. We feel like we need to be machismo. And, you know, there's people that can help. It doesn't even necessarily have to be your immediate family. It can be someone like us that's been through some stuff that can be a mentor that can give some advice.
But it's hard to find people in your age group and
are trustworthy.
Yeah, where you're like, you're never going to use this against me. You're never going to throw this back into my face.
Right.
So I think.
Of course, there's got to be some.
Yeah, but I think as
equity there with that relationship.
As adults, it's different having friends when you're kids, but when you're an adult and you're trying to find friends, I think we take longer to trust people. Exactly. And by the time, but before we know it, years have passed that we've dealt with trauma by ourselves still. But I feel like that's a weight. Like, and I think once as an adult, you let that weight go where you're like, fuck it, I'm weak today. That's just what it is. What you say is not going to change it. I'm weak, I'm having a shitty day. It changes everything. The weight just, not vulnerable just to your friends, but when you're vulnerable just to people. Like, we're vulnerable on this damn live right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
everybody's
who cares?
Watching.
Who cares?
Everybody's watching, but you know, it's just a life experience. You know what I mean? Like you said, just being accountable and recognizing the mistakes that we made in the past. You know what I mean? And like I don't get off of parole till 2030. So I'm just gonna walk it down. You know what I mean? Like I stayed when I was with my ex. You know, she waited for me for the 5 years while I was gone, and she would tell me like, don't get in trouble, don't be tattooed, don't be doing that. So anytime, you know, I got into any kind of conflict, you know, over the TV, you know, to watch sports or, you know what I'm saying, anything in prison where I'm going to get in trouble or get into a fight, I would listen to that little, you know, voice in my head, and I'm like, you know, I'm listening to chill, you know what I'm saying?
Take it easy.
I'm going to take it easy, man, you know what I mean? And it's the same way out here in the streets for me because I got a lot of people that depend on me, you know what I mean? A lot of people, so I don't need no distractions. But I test myself every day by allowing people that, you know, tattoo shops, you got to be 18 to be inside of the shop.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, I feel like if it's after hours and, you know, you're an adult, if you, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a cop. You know, the tattoo police or anything like that. You know, I'm just real professional about it. And there's a lot of people, I mean, my shops, on Friday and Saturdays, we're the only shop that stays open till 2 a.m. Okay. So I get a lot of people from the Depot District that are drunk.
I want a tattoo.
Yeah, you know, and they can get pretty loud. Some of them a little annoying, but hey, man, that's my business, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's how I pay my bills, and that's how I make my money. So, you know, I just, you know, it's pros and it's, you know, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I just try to, you know, like I said, man, I look at them and I just like, man, I'm glad, man. I'm not like that no more.
We did that just recently.
We saw some drunk folks. I think we were in Fredericksburg or something.
Yeah. And they were walking in front of us, and we were just watching them. And we were like,
they were all drunk and stupid, and we're like, God, you realize how obnoxious.
Just annoying you sound.
Yeah, because you're saying the same story.
Yeah, over and over and over.
You're like, hey, you told me that
you just told me that.
Like 20 times. You already told me the story. I've been tattooing you for 2 hours.
Repeat. I hate it. I'm just like, you told me this is too much.
But you know, a lot of people are going through different things in their lives, man. So I guess they use that as a, you know, kind of like an outlet. You know what I mean? And you know, some people work out, some people, you know, I love the tattoo. You know, since I've been sober, I feel like my tattoos are just so much better. And you know what I mean?
Focus is better.
Yeah, I'm focused, man. Like, I wake up and, you know, I'm showered, crease my clothes.
Mental clarity.
Yeah, bro, eat a big breakfast.
Feel good about yourself.
Yeah, man, go to my shop. I'm ready, man. And, you know, all my guys, hey, what's going on? I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Oh, you got this, let's go. Let's handle it, man. You know what I mean? Like a real leader. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's dope, bro.
And then even though, you know, I've got I'm a felon and past. Yeah. It's possible, bro. Like, I mean, don't ever give up on your dreams, man. 100%. You know what I mean? And you can always make something positive out of negative, man.
Yeah.
So what made you tell yourself, I want to be sober? Was there was there a bottom point?
It goes back to 2017. And I had a friend who was 20 years old, man. And he was one of my crime partners, you know, in the drug game. And he was a raging alcoholic, bro. 99 proof every day, all day. And he killed himself, man, cirrhosis, you know, 28 years old. And I remember, man, 28, bro, 28 years old. And I remember I was out partying with him, man. We're drinking, you know, and just getting, you know, just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And I was sitting on a couch like this, and I woke up, and right away when I wake up, you know, when you get up from one of them drunk spells, you're like this, like, oh, you're looking for your wallet and your money, and you know, and his grandma's sitting across, and she's smoking a cigarette, and she's like, what's going on, Flaco? And I was like, hey, what's up, Jojo, you know, how's it going? And she goes, I got your money, mijo. She goes, I got your keys. She goes, but what are you doing here? And I looked at her and I said, what? She goes, man, I love you. You know what I mean? You're a good friend to my grandson. She goes, but you got your own business, you got your own family. Like, you don't belong here. And after that, man, you know, it changed my life, man.
I believe that was putting you on.
Yeah, June 22nd, man, I quit cold turkey. I went to California. I went to LA for 3 weeks. And
Was that hard?
And
Being
it
sober?
was hard, man.
Being around
Seeing my family,
Yeah.
you know, in Los Angeles and stuff. But I came back and my mind was clear. But I think I was doing it to kind of block out reality of what I had going on. Sealed indictments. You know, when you're dealing with a life sentence in the state of Texas, you know, 5 to 99, it's stressful, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like I was trying to block out reality, but then I really knew that I had to, you know, when you play, you pay, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to be, you know, I had to take responsibility for the choices I made in life.
Right.
And I felt like it was time for me to stay sober, man. So my last 18 months that I was free, I was sober. I didn't drink, I didn't do nothing no more. And it was time for me to go to prison, and I went and I got out. I've been out 18 months now. And even in prison, man, they got drugs, they got alcohol in there.
Yeah.
And you watch people in there and they're just destroying themselves, man. Especially with the K2, you know. It's like making them retarded, man.
What is the K2? What is that?
It's like a spray that they do, or it's like they smoke it, man. But they're smoking it on paper. It's all messed up.
Is that brought in, or
They get it in. I don't know how they get it in, man. I couldn't tell you, but it's just like, you know.
It's there.
It's there, bro. You know, I can't touch down on stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because I don't really know how it happens. You know, but at the same time, it's just, you know, addiction. People go to that as a comfort. You know what I'm saying? And me, when I was in there, I was always just trying to stay healthy, working out. You know, I was a barber. I was a barber in prison.
Okay,
you know?
all right.
I was officer barber in there, so and that was like another form of art to me. You know. And so I used to cut all the majors and wardens and sergeants, and you know that's what I did for 5 years. You
That's
know.
cool, man.
But just that experience and then getting out, and I knew, man. I said, man, if I could say no in prison, I know out here in the world, man, there ain't no stopping me, man. You know what I mean? And then just being able to see my granddaughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love to go and buy her clothes and spend time with her. I had her with me last night. That's why I took her early in the morning back to her mom.
Oh, nice.
So I had her with me last night. And,
So being sober now, are you able to think back and be like, these very little small milestones, they feel good?
they feel real good. It feels
Like
real.
watching your granddaughter.
It's more rewarding, man. You know what I mean? Because I feel like people, they always want the bad guy. You know what I mean? They like the bad guy, but at the same time, man, it's just like I got a family to take care of, man.
Bad guy's entertaining.
Exactly.
Good guy's boring.
Good guy's boring, man. You know
But
what
I
I
found out,
mean? You know.
boring is peaceful, bro.
And that's what I like. I like peace, man.
I love
And you know, I'm not perfect, man. I can get kind of grumpy sometimes and get angry. I get frustrated.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's perfect is God. You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? And all I can do is try to, you know, better my life and better myself. And, you know.
Yeah.
And I work on it every day, man. It's a struggle, but.
So when you know, when you're working on yourself, bro, is there things that you do? Is there like a support system? Is there books you read? Is there podcasts? What is it? How do you work on yourself? Like what's been the best for you?
While I was incarcerated, I read a lot.
Okay.
You know, I read a lot of old philosophies. Like Napoleon Hill is one of my favorite authors. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yes, sir.
But there's a book called that he has called Outwitting the Devil, man.
What is it?
Outwitting the
Outwitting the Devil
by Napoleon Hill. And that book was it was published in he wrote it I think in the 20s or the 30s, but it wasn't published 70 years later.
Oh, wow.
You know, they would have killed him back then for the stuff that he was saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's basically, you know what I mean, everybody, you know, there's positive and negative. And the devil is kind of like a made up thing. You know what I mean? Because you got the good and you got the bad. You got your choices, you know what I'm saying? And it's just yourself, bro. You know what I mean? The sixth sense that's in your mind.
Fighting yourself.
When it says, hey man, let's go hit this lick. Let's go, you know, let's go make this money.
Yeah.
That's your own destruction right there. And reading that book, man, changed my life, man. You know, because it talks about all the fears that we fear, you know, poverty, death, you
Yeah.
know, being alone. You know, there's a lot of different things, you know, and drifting, being a drifter,
Yeah.
like, with your mind,
Yeah.
you know.
That's
Sounds
cool.
like a good book.
Yeah, sounds like a
We
good
should
book.
look that
Yeah,
up.
check it out. It'll change your life.
Do you still read nowadays?
Now, man, I tattoo every day.
Tattoo
Like, I read a
therapy?
lot.
I tattoo every day, man, and it's crazy, man, because when I came home, man, I did it quick, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did it quick, and I did it the legal way.
Good.
I did it quick, and I did it the legal way, and of course, you know, to get where I'm at now, you
That's
know what I'm
good.
saying? And
That's good.
and it's not even my blood, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But it's just something that just keeps me going forward, and I always think back on the stuff that I read in prison. You know what I mean? Just the things that kept me focused. You know what I mean? And just being good to people, man. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's
That's your very good testimony coming out of a very hard life,
yeah.
turning it into good. Because a lot of people don't. They just, this is who I am. I'm not going to change.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up back in there. Or people will even tell you, like, you're just going to end up back in there. Because it's a cycle. But
That's a crazy cycle, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, you know, she was saying people succumb to, you know, the negative, and they're like, oh, that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. The thing is, too, like, you know, it's never too late.
Never.
It's never too late to change your life around and make some better decisions. And I feel like there's a lot of good people out there who think otherwise. That guy's bad. Or that girl's stupid. Oh, man, they're good people. They just found some bad choices and not really have any direction in their life. Man. I've always been, man, I was writing my goals the other day, and one of them is to be an ambassador of hope in whatever way that needs to be. However I can help people out, man. There's been some people along the way for me that I can lean on to this day and be like, hey man, I'm struggling, I need some help, and they'll be able to help me out, man. And so that's one of the main reasons why we started this podcast, is just God put it on our heart to be like, hey man, people need to hear stories, people need to realize that alcohol is ugly, addiction is ugly, and it not just affects the person, it affects everybody around you that loves you. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, we appreciate you coming on, brother. Great story.
Yeah.
I wish you the best.
and I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more. I'm not. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more.
We were talking last week. We were like, we're gonna have to do follow-ups because I don't think we get enough
Content.
in 45 minutes. Like, because I think it can go into so
Yeah.
much further depth.
Yeah.
I think so too, man. And you know, even with yourself, bro, just, you know what I mean? Like, even, I never really sat down and write those down or anything like that. I just put them up here
Yeah.
in my mind, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just stay on the right path, bro.
Yes, sir.
You got a beautiful family, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate it,
And
man.
you got it going on with all your, you know, businesses and
Yeah.
everything, man. And
Appreciate it, brother.
it's you know, when you got somebody that, especially when somebody's so close to you that you love, that's struggling with addiction,
Yeah.
it's hard to see them like that. And I think about how people that I was with at the time when I was doing that, how I was destroying them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're scared to say something, or they're, you know what I mean?
It becomes a I don't want to burden you type shit. Like, I don't want to fight. Really, is
Exactly.
what it is. I don't want to
Conflict,
I don't want to
yeah.
fight. So I'm not gonna say nothing.
My thing was like, man, when I was, last year was a really bad year for me, and that's, you know, went into a depression, and a lot of that is the reason why I started drinking and doing cocaine almost probably 3 or 4 times a week.
Right.
And my thing was, nobody knew about it. Nobody. My wife's the only one that knew about it, and she didn't. Even to this day, she's finding out more and more of how deep it was.
Right.
And that makes me so sad.
Well, here's the thing: is because like I'm supposed to have my shit figured out. I'm supposed to have my stuff together according to my family, according to, because I'm the big brother.
Right.
I've got 4 younger brothers. I've got a sister. I'm supposed to be that guy that everybody is looking up to us. Hey man, he's got his shit together. And even around the community of here in town, like I'm a business owner. I do business with a lot of people, and people are like, oh, he's got his stuff together. When dude, I was fucking broke, bro. Like I was going through some major shit, and I was hiding it, And so my thing wasn't like I was out there drugging and drinking. I was isolated in my home. Bottles, bags, underneath. You find, I think a couple of weeks ago we found like 3 or 4 bottles just from months ago, And so I say all that because there are people out there that are going through this, and they put on this facade. Oh, okay, I'm going to go be this business owner today. I'm going to go be this entrepreneur or this boss or whoever they're supposed to be in life when they are shattered.
Yeah, because it's just a makeup.
It's just a makeup, bro.
It's just a makeup, man.
Yeah. And that weight is heavy.
Heavy, man.
And a lot of people, they look at you and they're like, I get people that stare at me and, right away they're like, oh, this guy is a drug dealer. Or he's doing this, or he's whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, well, if I was dressed up and had some slacks on and, didn't have no tattoos, maybe I could blend in with everybody else, but it's just like, man, I'm none of them things, man, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's so judgmental, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I feel like once you wake up that day where you're like, this is me. When peace is the most important in your life, everything else just like it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, and I'm the same way.
Small things don't matter. Stupid things don't matter. You're just like, I can only control what I can control, and that's me.
I feel the same way, man. Like, I heard you guys talking about that earlier when I was sitting over there, and you're talking about peace, man. And it's just like I'm getting too old, man, to be with any type of bullshit or
drama.
Just drama, man. I'm just like, man, it's good, man. You know what I mean? If you want to live your life, under, in the shadows, and do what you do, and just try to act like you're somebody that you ain't, man. Go ahead, man. I've always tried to be the realest person that I can be. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even when I was at the lowest. Yeah. Even though I was drinking and I was gone for days, and, and messing up the community with drugs and everything like that. People that at least, I paid my dues, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? I did my time. I didn't tell on nobody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I
handled your business.
I accepted my fate. Yeah. You know what I mean? I say that, man.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? You can't say that, bro.
100%.
And so all I can do, man, is just, pray for the ones I love, man, that are going through things, and just keep going forward, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate how people are quick to judge a book. Like with us, man, we I don't care what color we don't care where you're from, what you do. If you have tats, if you don't have tats, piercings, whatever.
I thought you were really cool as shit when you walked in the shop. It's cool.
Yeah, no, it's all how you carry yourself, and then how you interact. With us, like, what you give us is what we're gonna give back.
Yeah, for sure.
And if it's love and respect, you're gonna get that back. If it's shade, you'll get that back. Yeah. Not necessarily like we just won't even pay attention to you. Like,
forget this guy.
I'm done with that. If you're not bringing any kind of value to us, we're good. Mm-hmm. Have a blessed life. Do what you got to do.
There's nothing. There's no ill will. There's no just
do your thing,
man. If I don't fuck with you, then I don't fuck with you.
And that's the best way. I'm kind of like the same way. I'm the same way, man. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, like I said, man, it's just there's a lot of people, man, that are and you got to give them the best advice and just try to be a good friend. Listen to them, you know what I mean, a little bit. Yeah. And then sometimes, man, it's just like it's over and over the same story. I'm just like, bro, like
there's got to be a point when you're like, okay.
You're like, hey, bro, you see what it is, bro. Like, cut it, it's a wrap.
What are you gonna do? Like, come on, fix it,
bro. Like, I can't tell you the same story
over and over.
Yeah, man. I told you what your problem is. Handle it. If you can't handle it and accept it, and move on, then that's on you, man. Bad things happen to me in my life, man, and I've accepted them, and that's all we can do.
Yes, sir. Yep. Honey, you got anything else for Paul?
Philip was telling me that you do some stuff for the community. What do you do now?
Well,
Yeah, good question.
yeah. Actually,
Now that you're not.
Yeah,
distributing.
actually, I got invited to go to, I forgot the name of the school. It's right there on the east side, but it's for the kids that
Is
are
it the
kinda-
Rise Academy?
It's right there. I think so, man. They're kind of like kids that get in trouble with school and stuff like that. And,
Uh-huh.
and one of my tattoo artists invited me to go with him, you know, to go support him because he's into stuff like that. You know, he gives back to the community. And this guy's young, man. Shout out to Tattoo Local, Cam. He's a good guy, man. He's young
Yeah.
and he's got a lot to give. He's always trying to help the community out, man.
That's
you
awesome,
know what
man.
I mean?
Yeah.
And he invited me to go to the school to talk to the kids with him.
Okay.
And of course, you know what I mean. I'm like a big brother, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I was like, you know what, man. I'm down, and you know, of course, I walk in, and this guy walks in with me, and you know, the kids are hee ha ha laughing. But once, you know what I mean. You know, once I was like, kind of like broke the silence. Hey, what's up? You know, they call me Big Flacco. You know what I mean. My real name's Paul Landrove, but my street name's Big Flacco here in that's what a lot of people know me by, Texas, and all my family and stuff. And when I broke that silence with them kids, you know, they started listening.
That's good.
You know what I
man.
mean? And I'm like, hey, you know, what do you like to do? Why you in here? And you know what I mean? Because I've been there, man. You know,
What age group were these?
man, these kids were like 16 years old,
Okay, so
15.
teenagers.
You know, they had the younger group was a little bit more, you know, kind of annoying. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because they want to
Yeah.
be laughing and everybody's a comedian.
Right.
But you know, we've been there. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So the older ones were kind of listening a little bit more to the testimony. You know about
Yeah.
you know, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna end up in prison. You're gonna, you know. But a lot of, you know what I finally realized is a lot of these kids, man, they don't got a mom that wakes up and makes them breakfast before they go to school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't
Yeah.
have a mom. You know, I'm looking at their shoes, bro, and
Yeah.
it's like, man, you know, they got it rough, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just looking for an escape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of talked to them a little bit and
Love on them.
Yeah, just love on them a little bit, man.
Yeah.
I just told them.
It's crazy how much that could change
Oh, yeah.
everything.
For sure. And you know, seeing, you know, and they get all kinds of different walks of life that come in, like the
Yeah.
teacher that had us there, he said, you know, they got like people with businesses and, you know, the mayors went to see them and stuff like that, but it's kind of different when it's somebody like them
Yeah.
talking to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's somebody that they look up to, you know, because these kids, they looking up to the community, to the drug dealers, to the
Right.
guys rolling with the big rims and,
Right.
you know, pulling out wads of money, you know, they
Yeah.
look up to, because that's what I looked up to when I was a
Yeah.
kid, you know. So I did that, and you know, it felt good, man. That was my first chance to do something, to give back. It was a little
That's
for
pretty
me,
cool,
you
man.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Good for you.
And it felt good, and I was happy about it, and I would definitely like to do that again.
That's good.
There's a lot of kids that need our help,
Yeah.
especially with all this shit going on. The news you read now, you're not on social media, so you don't see all the 19, 20-year-olds that are getting arrested for murder.
Oh, yeah,
They're
they just
in trouble.
It's a shame.
And that's a hard pill to swallow right there, man. Capital murder in the state of Texas.
Yeah. No joke.
Gone for the rest of their life. 99.
Yeah.
Never coming home.
Well, man, that was good. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. And I'm sure, like Soleil said, we probably could be here all day and
We'll
talk
have
all
to have
day.
dinner.
Yeah.
What's something you want to share with people that are watching that are on either side of the track when it comes to being an alcoholic, being an addict, being a family member, being a husband, being a wife? Like what advice would you give to them that has helped you along the way?
Just never give up. You know, never give up. Stay focused, stay strong. You know what I mean? For your family, for yourself. Especially for yourself, man. If you can't do it for yourself,
You can't do it for
you
nobody.
can't just blame it on, oh, well, kids. Do it for yourself, man, first. And then give them the homage, you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
you know, and like Phil said, you know, it's never too late to change. And I do appreciate you guys having me here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry I missed last week.
Oh, that's all good,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
We're gonna get you on.
But you know what I mean? This was real good, man. I don't really talk to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I talk to the guys in my tattoo shop a lot.
Yeah.
Just the close people around me on my everyday. And
Gotta keep your circle small.
yeah, keep it small.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm on social media, but it's mostly just my tattoo shop. If you ever see, if you guys are on my Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat or whatever.
Pura Envidia, right?
Pura Envidia Tattoo Shop. It means pure envy. Tattoo shop here
Check
in
it
Lubbock,
out.
Texas. Check us out, man.
If y'all want to get a tab by the best in town, check out
Holler
Paul.
at me, man. Big flats right here.
My daughter, what did she say the other day? She goes, I want tattoos like mom. She had just got shot that day. And we were like, but it's needles. And she goes, oh, wait. Okay, yeah, no. I don't want it. She was like, she was tripped out.
She thought it was like a pin. just
Yeah.
small.
I was like, no, it's a lot of needles. And she was like, oh, yeah, no, never mind. She's so funny.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Bags and Bottles. We'll see you next time. Remember, sober living is normal living. Peace.